Welcome to the Flow Tracy Money Audio Commentary. This is Owen Tracy recording, and it is 3:13 p.m. that is Central Time, and today is May 7th. Well, I thought I'd kick off and look at the 10-year yield because it was down a tad in here today. The Federal Reserve did not cut interest rates, and that was uh, by far the strongest consensus I've seen in a long time. In fact, uh, China's CCTV Channel 2 reached out to me yesterday and asked me to record a little piece talking about how the Fed would not cut interest rates. And that was about 15 hours before the actual meeting. So that's a measure of just how strong the consensus was not to cut interest rates. But despite the fact that it was consensus, I think most people really just pay attention to what Jay Powell has to say in the press conferences. And I think there were two things that were kind of important. So one thing that he said is if the large increases in tariffs that have been announced are sustained, they're likely to generate a rise in inflation, a slowdown in economic growth, and an increase in unemployment. Well, that's, I think, the consensus of what people think is likely from tariffs. And then he went on to say is that the effects on inflation, they could be short-lived, reflecting a one-time shift in the price level, but they could also, it's also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent. And I think if we had to have a rationale for why they didn't cut interest rates, that's it, because we have the potential that there could be another big inflationary bump. And the only way that that's going to happen is if we have a confluence of factors. So tariffs are one potential catalyst, but without a significant jump in liquidity, then it's unlikely that the inflation is going to be durable. Because in many respects, the inflation from tariffs will probably take care of itself, in that if price levels go up, it will deter demand. And if it deters demand, then there'll be higher unemployment because you won't need as many workers to fulfill orders. And if you've got higher unemployment, well, then that's going to hit demand even more. So then the impact of tariffs would be deflationary in the second order, while being inflationary in the first order. And what would unseat that potential outcome is if there was a massive jump in the availability of liquidity and money printing. If the Federal Reserve were to, say, cut interest rates by 50 basis points, completely abandon quantitative tightening, and go back to quantitative easing, well, then that would certainly be something that could promote inflationary pressures. As it stands, we have the 10-year yield that was down in here today, so the bond market taking some heart from the Fed